Anthony Edwards. Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Anthony Edwards sold his soul to the media. That's right. You heard it first from here. Oh my goodness. You guys already know I don't like this guy. 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 And I did so many videos about this guy. And this whole thing about Anthony Edwards saying that no players were skilled before Michael Jordan and that Kobe was basically the second skilled player of all time. Oh goodness. And I've heard the YouTube channels and look, man, I'm not going to give it to you like they give it to you. I just can't do that. They seem kind of more relaxed. They really didn't punish this guy. They really didn't humiliate this guy. They really didn't give it to this guy. They were kind of laid back as a whole in the NBA, Facebook, YouTube community. I can't do that, or that wouldn't be my channel. You would just go listen to their channel, right? So let's lay some foundation before we really rip this guy apart. Anthony Edwards, I don't like this guy. He's a fraud to me, and we're going to show and prove. I've already showed you that this guy is one of the biggest frauds of all time. And I'm going to continue to show you in this video. But the fact is, we got to understand why this guy is saying this stuff, right? He decided not to take his own path and be his own man, right? He's saying stuff that other players are saying in this era, right? About 90s players, about 80s players. He's not saying nothing new. This guy is mindless. He doesn't have a brain. Right? Don't give it to me. Oh, the man too young, man. The man too young. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So let's understand what's going on. The NBA is a failed, dying, going extinct product, right? Pretty soon it'll be like MLB, right? MLB has its base fans, or let's just say hockey too, right? If you go to many hockey arenas, what you'll see, packed stadiums, packed arenas, or whatever like that, but it doesn't have the viewership on TV what it once used to have. Okay, and that's what happened to MLB. They put out the American players. It just went down the drain. To me, that was about greed. We won't get into that, but NBA is taking the same path, right, as MLB and NHL. They're going to have their core fans, and some of these arenas will continue to be packed, but nobody wants to watch this garbage. Nobody wants to watch this garbage. And it basically started going into the 2000s, where the ratings started to go down. I wouldn't say it was like this, but we can see by 2007, people like Tim Duncan was not able to carry this league. You had a mix of guys, Allen Iverson, Grant Hill, whoever was in that 2000s. I'm not trying to beat up on them, but the ratings just start plummeting. They wasn't like the 90s. They weren't like the 80s. And you can blame Shaq too. It was a lot of guys went into them 2000s, and it just started to go down. And once we got to about the 2010s, it started getting really bad, except for when Curry was in the NBA Finals. So now we're in the 2020s, and this is the worst NBA ratings of all time, right? The worst. It's not even close. Whether it's regular season, playoffs, holiday games, whether it's on, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Martin Luther King, nobody wants to watch this garbage anymore. Nobody wants to watch it. And we know what happened. It's not American basketball. It's not rivalries. It's not men playing positional basketball anymore. Everybody wants to be a face-up shooter, shoot 33s a game per person. So now you can say, man, I'm shooting 36, 37%. Well, you shot 30 of them. I mean, any dude off the street could hit a 36% if they shoot 20, 30 of them in a game per person. So this is what Anthony Edwards has been reduced to in the 2020s. Is saying the same ridiculous stuff that the rest of these dudes have been saying. And why is this? Because the NBA can't sell itself based on its actual play on the court. That's what sold the 2000s. That's what sold some of the 2010s. That's what sold the 90s. That's what sold the 80s. That's what sold the 70s, the 60s. The actual on-court play where you saw people play in a position and play positional basketball. So what Anthony Edwards is saying, it's just he's going along with the get along game, right? He's not saying nothing new. And you guys said this guy was the next Michael Jordan. So let me ask you, so will Michael Jordan diss the 70s or the 60s? Look, man, they can go ahead and hype up whoever they want. It's over. It's over. They will never touch what these guys did that's in the top 10 today. Your Tim Duncans, your Kobe Bryants, your Wilt Chamberlains, your Larry Birds, your Magic Johnsons, your Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's. um, Go ahead and throw in LeBron. He's not in my top 10. If you want to throw him in, that's fine, whatever. Your Michael Jordans. All these guys that's in the top 10 today, there will never be any guys that come along that will take these guys out of the top 10. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, did I say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? It's over. So all they can, because these guys don't have the heart, they don't have the grit, they don't have the stamina, they don't have the positional skills, they don't have the lightness. People don't want to see them play. They travel and carry everything else. So let's go ahead and get into this real quick and look at Anthony Edwards. Because this guy claims he's so skilled, right? He's playing in the no-touch era. Unlike the 90s, the 80s, some of the 2000s too. Even though they got away with hand checking completely, they were still doing it for a hot minute until, they finally got rid of it and altogether in the 210s. So let's go through this, a couple bulletin points, and, kind of embarrass this guy because he's already embarrassed himself. So let's embarrass him some more. Only players had skills back then was Michael Jordan. So let's say this. To me, this kind of started in the 210s, right? And we can especially say in the 2020s, right? That before it was a position game, right? Now it's a positionless game where four guys sit at the 3-point line and one guy in the middle. And this is not American basketball. It's international ball. So when they say that the world caught up to us, you're playing our style of basketball. They couldn't catch up to us back in the day because we were curb stomping them because we were playing our brand of basketball. You're playing their brand of basketball. You're playing international basketball. So back in the day, we played, it was a point guard, a shooting guard, a center, a power forward, and a small forward, right? And at each position, a guy had to have certain positional skills at that position to play American basketball, right? Right? So you had to have certain skills at those positions, whether it was point guard, shooting guard, center, power forward, small forward. So we really don't understand what these guys didn't have any skills. Like dribbling in circles and then shooting a 3-pointer? That's the skills? I mean, that's not American basketball. And another thing is, this guy, we'll get into that in a minute. We talked about that. Nobody wants to see Anthony Edwards play. Nobody wants to see Joker play. Nobody wants to see LeBron, AD, Bam. Any of these guys in these 2000s, these are the lowest NBA ratings in the 2000s. In the 2020s, this is the lowest ratings of all time. The lowest ratings of all time. Again, whether it's in regular season playoffs or holiday games, nobody wants to see these guys. So the only way they can keep this NBA alive is some soap opera, some drama, and stuff like that, because it won't sell based on this play. When you look at the eye test, this is not American basketball. This ain't basketball. This ain't a man's sport. It's just dudes running around shooting 3-pointers with really no fundamental skills, no positional skills, or nothing like that. Anthony Edwards has never been in the top 10 per game since he came in the league in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. Wow. Oh, wow. And this is the next Michael Jordan. That's what these people have been saying. You got international plumbers running his league that he's supposed to be the next Michael Jordan in. This is a league that's being run by international plumbers, and this guy is more worried about past eras than worried about international plumbers running the league that he's supposed to be the next Michael Jordan in. How's that possible? How's that possible? Let's talk about another thing is, this guy got benched. got benched by the all-time turnover king, LeBron James. That's right. He lost in the 23 FIBA, right? To who? We're still trying to figure it out. What, like Serbia? In Germany? You lost to Schroeder? Schroeder and his boys? You lost to Schroeder. A fake Rondo. A fake Rondo. Listen, this guy, Anthony Edwards, it was him, Paolo Banchero, Brunson, Ingram, and you're trying to, it was a whole bunch of other guys too. And you're trying to tell me you couldn't beat Schroeder and his boys? Not one All-Star, not one Hall of Famer, not one top 75 on that team. And you didn't even get a medal? Wow. So they had to dismantle the turnover king, LeBron James, the guy with no skills, no basketball skills, can't shoot the mid-range, can't shoot the three, can't shoot free throws, ain't got no paint work. Went out and dismantled that FIBA team that couldn't even get a medal. And guess what? You know what he got? He got Curry, Durant, all these boys, and you begged him to be on the team, Anthony Edwards. And you know what he told you? Yes, you can be on this team, boy, but you got to ride the bench, right? You got to go to the bench. So the turnover king put Curry, who is a point guard, at shooting guard, and he became the point guard, right? And you came off the bench. Wow. So you're trying to tell me Michael Jordan at 23 years old is coming off the bench? What's this guy, like 22, 23? Michael Jordan's coming off the bench for a 40-year-old turnover king with no basketball skills. Wow. Look, Michael Jordan would be like, okay. Jordan would be making a fool out of this guy in practice. Mike will be killing him defensively, stealing the ball, blocking his shot, and then putting 40 points on his head in practice. No way Mike is going to be sitting on the bench. No damn way is Mike coming off the damn bench. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, and let's remember, Anthony Edwards ain't even he's not even a top 5 player in the league, right? Giannis, Luka, Joker, Shea, who else? Don't they all want to throw LeBron in there or something? Oh, man. So let's look at this. We talked about that. Oh yeah, we talked, because this is what his detractors like to say, right? They like to tell us, oh man, the man was 19 when he came in the league, man. He was 19 when he came in. He was 19. What? LeBron skipped school. LeBron was 18 when he came into the league, and he was putting up better stats than this dude, right? We would say, well, Anthony been in the league 4 years? You're trying to tell me LeBron James wasn't a top 5 player in his 4th year? Wasn't that the year when he went to the finals, right? LeBron went to the finals. He was a top 5 player then. We make so many excuses for these guys, and you hear the media at one minute they saying this guy is Michael Jordan S. Next minute they saying how young this guy is, right? Oh goodness. So let's check this out. Never ever made a defensive team. What? You never made a defensive team in this weak era? What? Not even a set. Rudy Gobert's making defensive team. Rudy Gobert got 2 left feet, and he making defensive players of the year. How is that possible? How is that possible? Wow. And that's another thing is when they say this guy was 19 when he came into the league. First of all, if you're going to come into the league, that means you're ready. Second of all, you should be able to come into this league out of damn high school. There's no challenge. All you do is sit at the 3-point line. Either you're going to shoot the 3 or drive it in. There's no resistance in the middle. You can't arm bar somebody. You can't hand check somebody. You can't body up somebody like that. You can't do none of this stuff. I mean, you could do that if you're an offensive player now. Everything that you used to be able to do as a defensive player, now the offensive player can do it to the defensive player. These are the rules that they've made for these guys because they really don't have any good skills. Even check this out. They tell them you can't hand check, arm bar, and you can't put elbows in the post. You can't do none of this stuff like they was doing in the 80s and 90s, right? And these guys still have to do all this to get a shot off. The defender is basically just backing up with his, with his hands up. He can't do nothing else. And now the offensive player is coming with a straight arm, an elbow, and all this stuff to the defensive guy. This is how weak these guys are in this era. They got to do all this stuff just to make a basket. So yeah, the 19 thing, you only 19. This is no excuse. It's a weak era. You should be able to come to me. You should be coming straight out of high school in this era. It's weak. It's weak. It's weak. It's a weak era. So no defensive team for Anthony Edwards, right? Oh, so let's see this. Let's go to him in what I call a super team he's been playing with, right? Let's look at his best players. Let's look at him first and look at his best players, right? So let's look at his pedigree, his accolades. Two-time All-Star. Wow. Only made the All-Star team twice. Wow. Guy got a lot of mouth. All NBA second team one time. That was this year. You didn't get a first team? I thought you was like a Michael Jordan S. Oh my goodness. No rookie of the year? Wow. Who was the rookie of the year? Who was the rookie of the year that year when he came in? Well, he got the rookie first team. Okay. Karl Anthony Towns entered the NBA in 2015. Anthony Edwards with 2020. Karl Anthony Towns entered the NBA in 2015. Four-time All-Star. Two-time All-NBA third team. NBA Rookie of the Year. Rookie first team. Three-point contest champion. So Karl Anthony Towns might just make the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's got a good chance, but who knows? He's going on what? How many years is it? So, wow, he's been in the league that long? Wow. Rudy Gobert, 2013. Three-time All-Star, All-NBA second team one time, three-time All-NBA third team, four-time defensive player of the year, seven-time All-Defensive first team, rebound leader, and block leader. So this guy is definitely going to the Hall of Fame. Definitely going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, wow. So, Karl Anthony Towns, makes it into the Hall of Fame, which I don't see why he won't. I think he'd at least get like 3-4 more All-Star appearances. Anthony Edwards, you've been playing on the super team, bro. You've been playing on a super team. So this is Anthony Edwards' legacy right here. To be part of the NBA crew that's going on right now. Right? Dissing past players, saying a whole bunch of goofy stuff that don't make sense. He could have been his own man. And why are only American players dissing past eras, right? Why are they doing that? Joker's not doing it. Luka's not doing it. Shea isn't doing it. Giannis ain't doing it. Why are American players doing this? And the thing is, American players are about done in the NBA. It's not looking good for them. They're not the stars no more. And you would think they will find a way, American players, to have fans like them again. So fans will start watching the NBA again. But you got people like this who are chasing NBA fans away. This guy, if you see his resume, he hasn't done nothing. What has he done? Even if you won one championship, that doesn't put you in the upper echelon, in the top 15, not even in the top 20. You got to have a whole career proving that you're one of the best. In him dissing past players, he basically dissed all the players in the 60s, 50s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And I'm gonna let you on a little secret right here. You got all these past players from, I would say, about in the 2000s forward, this in the 90s, this in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, whatever. And why is this? It's because they have nothing to stand on. Nothing. Nobody's watching this garbage. They have nothing to stand on. Right? When we look at the NFL, they keep moving forward, right? Now you got Mahomes. Before that, you had Brady. Um, Before that, you maybe had, you know, a mix of guys in the '90s. You had Joe Montana before that in the '80s. So the NFL just keeps moving on, and they promote winning, greatness, hard work. Um, what do you want to call it? I don't know the word, sportsmanship. The NBA has fallen off, and they have nothing else to promote but shenanigans. And that's why I told you I'm not going to sit here and make videos every single day because it's just the same thing, right? The NBA is dissing its own league. You never would have thought this was possible. And I told you guys before, Adam Silver in the NBA is responsible for this, right? Because everything that ESPN, as far as has to do with the NBA, because these guys have contracts with the NBA. Fox Sports, which is owned by Disney, and ESPN owned by Disney. So ESPN and Fox, TNT, and these boys like that, whatever they want to say on these networks, these shows, Undisputed, First Take, anything like that, you got to go through the NBA first. It just ain't dudes saying stuff and making up stuff, right? So the NBA approves all this stuff, right? Um, when you hear shenanigans like what Anthony Edwards is saying, past players, what they're saying, this is an actual league, you guys. This is a company. So this has to go through the NBA first, right? If you work for the NBA, you got to go through the NBA first, right? If Richard Jefferson says something, or what's this guy's name just got hired as a coach for the Lakers, you know who I'm talking about. Um, yeah, if he disses past players, it has to go through the NBA. I'm not trying to say just because somebody has a podcast or a channel, just a random person or an ex-player. I'm talking about people who are actually working for the NBA, even NBA players. So when you hear the Draymond Green, all this has to get approved by the NBA. And the NBA is okay with this because the NBA cannot sell itself based on its own court play. Again, if the NFL got so bad, they might start doing something like this, right? Because the NBA is on its last leg. Nobody wants to see these international players play. Not like that. We want to mix them like American, international. That's fine. But we don't want to watch an international game. It's boring. We want to watch men play basketball. We want to see that effort. Okay. When you go back and watch 2000s, 90s, 80s, you can think about, you can think whatever you want about them, but you cannot say they wasn't giving an effort on defense. You go, oh man, they're breaking it up. Look at the defense on them. You be breaking it up too. Every shot was earned. Just because you saw Michael Jordan doing some crazy highlights, that's just a highlight. Yeah, but this highlight happened this year. This highlight happened 6 months later. That highlight happened 10 years from now. It's just a highlight. Those guys earn every damn point, and it don't matter who was on the court. If it was damn Steve Kerr guarding somebody, you better whip past him because he ain't fixing to just let you shoot in his face. Yeah, these guys gave the effort. You can see it with your playing eyes here. There's no effort here in this era, and it's been going on probably since the 2010s. Definitely in the 2020s. It's really weak. They're just letting each other score, letting each other get these points. Here, dog, get your stat line up, man. Get your contract bigger. Get your stat line up. So, I've already told you guys before. I don't believe these guys make this kind of money. It would just be impossible to me. A dying product, which is an NBA, according to viewership, would make all this money on something that nobody cares about anymore. Record-breaking contracts. So to me, I've told you guys, I don't think they make this money. I think they tell people this so they can upcharge on hot dogs, popcorn, parking, alcohol, all this stuff. People is dumb. And, a dude once said, why are these people still sitting on the damn desk after they're supposed to be made $200-300 million contracts? Being analysts, putting on makeup, reading scripts, coaching college. We got a lot of dumb people that'll tell you, oh man, that's what they like to do. So let me tell you this, or ask you this. You worked at your job, you're retired, you're getting pension, you got hundreds of thousands in the bank, you're getting Social Security, um, you get 401k, and you just say, well, let me go back to work. After working all your life. And I know these people, they might not be 62 or 63 retirement age, but they've been working all their life on this damn court, running up and down it to one day retire and live good. So you can think what you want to think. Yeah, Anthony Edwards is just sticking to the script. He has no other choice, right? This is what this whole thing's been about for a long time, especially with the 4-6 loser LeBron James. It's just there's really no big fan base for him. Not like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. I mean, you guys talk about Wilt. Wilt was so Wilt was a rock star. LeBron is a famous basketball player. Wilt was a rock star. Wilt was a rock star. That's what Wilt was. Okay? He was like a Michael Jordan. That's what Wilt was back in his day. Um, but yeah, you're a 4-6 loser. He can't sell the game. Nobody wants to watch his NBA finals, his Christmas games, and stuff like that. Nobody wants to watch this guy. There's nothing to look at. Just guy dribble to the 3-point line and just get a running start and barrel into you. We ain't looking at a skilled player. Where's a skilled player? Nobody sees. He can't shoot free throws. He can't shoot the mid range. He can't shoot the three. He ain't got no footwork. I mean, what are we talking about, skilled player? So, you kind of feel bad for Anthony Edwards in the sense that he does have skills, but he's got to be another pawn in this game in the NBA just to sell it, right? Cause controversy, cause drama, sell clips for ESPN, maybe some YouTube channels and stuff like that, because the league, nobody wants to watch this stuff. If they just played basketball and it wasn't like a whole bunch of drama and a whole bunch of stupid stuff not being said and did by Clutch Sports and, people saying stupid stuff like Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp, the league would be dead. They're selling the league on drama. I would say about 95% drama, which I told you guys in the past. Every sports league has to have drama or it's going to die. Look at the MLB, right? They can't sell it. We like a soap opera in sports, right? So if you can't sell us a soap opera, we don't want to watch it. Look at, NHL. There's no soap opera, but we don't want to see like 95% soap opera. And then the play on the court is basically non-existent. It's boring. You want to go to sleep. It's not skilled. It's everybody running the same play, chucking up the same shots, and this is what they got, man. This is what they got right here. The overrated dude that's part of the, run your mouth crew. That's it. He sold his soul to the media. He's doing the media work. To me, he'll never be a Michael Jordan. He's a fraud. He ain't even on Kobe Bryant level. He's not even on Bird's level. Magic, Tim Duncan, all these guys in the top 10. This guy will, because his competition ain't no good. His competition is weak. And that's why a lot of these guys that's in the top 10 will never get out the top 10 because their competition was better. Not only were they great players, but their competition was better. Like, we'll always love Mahomes, but if you go back and look at Brady's competition in those 2000s and the 2010s, it's not even close to what Mahomes is facing now. It's not. It's not. The Colts, the Eagles, the Steelers, the Giants, Baltimore, all these great teams, San Diego Chargers that Brady was facing in the 2000s and the 2010s. Mahomes will never face that kind of quarterback competition or defensive competition. Mahomes will never face that. Never. So just on that strength, Mahomes to me will never be better than Brady. And Brady beat him 2 times head to head. So this guy, we're going to hear more from this guy selling his soul to the media, because that's all these guys can do is to keep the NBA, somebody talking about it. And usually we don't even talk about the NBA on the offseason, but they brought in Bronny. They're trying to keep this league alive. I'm going to make a video on that. People don't believe me. Bronny's going to be the next American face of the league. Look, all this stuff, it's not about right or wrong. It's not about, actual play on the court. It's about pissing people off so they'll keep talking about the NBA. That's it. Why are people still talking about the NBA right now? Because they're telling lies. They're making these comparisons. They're saying a whole bunch of stuff that's false. That's the only thing keeping this NBA alive is lies and drama. You're pretty much watching a soap opera. It's not a real professional sports league anymore. They travel, they carry, they don't play positional basketball. they get beat by international plumbers or barely beat international plumbers. It's a fake sports league. It's an international game. Look at the in season tournament. Group pool. This is international game. Well, sorry you guys missed the real NBA in the 80s, the 90s, the 70s, early 2000s. American NBA is finished. It's done. You don't have real men playing real positional skills, and that's because they don't want to practice it no more. They don't want to be real men. And real men don't say stuff like this guy's saying. These are women. This is a soap opera, right? This is what your wife and your grandmother and your mother will watch, you know, a soap opera. Days of Our Lives. I don't know the rest of them, but soap operas. That's what women watch. It's soap operas, and it's what these guys act like. They act like women. They don't come to work to play men's basketball. They come to work to act like women, say stuff like women, fight like women, cry like women on the court. All this stuff, man. That's why I said I'm not gonna make videos about the same stuff every day. They're talking about a GOAT debate that don't even exist. But why? Because it pisses people off. It's fake. The NBA is fake. And everything that's been going on for 10 years or more, Adam Silver wants it to happen because you cannot sell this league based on this on-court play. Sorry. 80s and 90s didn't have to do this, or the 70s, or the 60s, because these men saddled up, played basketball, and got it on. We saw who was the best on the court, not through media telling us who's the best or comparing somebody. You saw it with your actual eyes. You saw it with your actual eyes. And this guy couldn't make his teammates better. That's why he lost in the FIBA, Anthony Edwards. Tell me what you think.